back again this week for our third round of Wrestling with Mother Teresa's quote, "If you just adore the Lord for an hour a day and never do anything you know is wrong, then you'll be fine." Last 2 weeks we've been talking about how to increase our adoration of the Lord, and today we're going to be tackling this idea of never doing anything you know is wrong. Usually when I disagree with somebody of Mother Teresa's status, I just take a nap and forget about it. But today I'm actually going to go head-to-head with Mother Teresa because I think Jesus gives us a different example. In Hebrews chapter 12, it says, "For the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." I think Jesus had a greater yes in front of him rather than just thinking about all the no's of these are the things I shouldn't do. If you've ever tried to diet, which I rarely have, but I did try a couple times, and all I could do was think about food, and I ended up eating more than when I wasn't on a diet. And I think that's a little bit true with if we just focus on all the things we shouldn't do, we're going to end up doing those things anyway. And so what we need is a greater joy that's set before us. And ideally, if we were perfect people, that joy would just be Jesus all the time, and we'd be always excited about just following Jesus. But for most of us, God has created us uniquely and with certain passions and things that motivate us. And so it might be wise to take some time to figure out what those things are and align those things and build our schedule around those things that bring us joy, especially in our service of the Lord. And so the Packed Weekly advice for this week is to take 2 weeks. At the end of each day, make a list of all the activities you were involved in for that day. Circle the ones that brought you joy and evaluate. What kinds of activities were those that you were involved in that were bringing you joy? What kind of people were you interacting with, or who were you interacting with during those times that brought you joy? What was the environment? Were you outside? Were you inside? Were you in a coffee shop? Were you in large crowds? Were you one-on-one? What was the environment that brought you joy in that situation? And maybe what were even the objects or the tools that you were using? Were you helping somebody work through a book? Were you on an iPad? Were you driving a car? And that's kind of what made it more enjoyable. And after you've identified the things that truly bring you joy in the ministry, try and build your schedule around those things. Put more of those things into your life and your schedule. And my guess is you won't have to worry about doing all the bad stuff because you'll be too busy doing all the good stuff and doing the things that bring you joy. And so that's my challenge for us today is spend an hour a day adoring the Lord and create a schedule that brings you joy and passion and that you won't have to worry about ever doing anything you know is wrong. Oh, and by the way, that joy that was set before Jesus was you and me and being with us for eternity. How great is that?